what should we expect in Conor's return? What is it we should expect in his return? Because I'll tell you right now, I've already got something I did not expect, which is Dustin Poirier and Eddie Alvarez, who have been in that cage with both Chandler and McGregor and a whole bunch of time. And Poirier's been in there 3 times with Conor. Eddie Alvarez has been in there, I believe, 10 rounds with Chandler. Let's think if that would be right, because they fought, the organization they fought in, it was a championship. The first one was 5 rounds, and that's the way I remember it. But if it wasn't a championship, it was just a main event, then it only would have been 3 rounds. I don't actually know, but my point is, they spent close to an hour together, and if I'm wrong, they spent close to 40 minutes together. It's a long time. Like, your opinion would matter. All I know is what I've seen. I feel like I've got an idea for it. But there's things that you miss when you watch that you got to hear from the competitors. I mean, Eddie Alvarez, was it 2017, guys? No, it was even before that, wasn't it? Yeah, it would have been before that. Hell yeah, it would have been before that. Because Conor needed that championship and that win to get the Floyd fight. So he was a double UFC simultaneous champion. As long as that fight was ago. I wasn't a historian on that fight. I worked for the company. I worked for ESPN with Grant. I didn't get brought to that event. I can't remember why. Maybe I wasn't with the Walt Disney Company at that time. Maybe I was serving one of my mini suspensions. I really can't remember, but I wasn't at it. I bring that to you because I'm just not an expert. I'm not the guy that you would turn to. I'm not Zach Candido or Ariel Helwani that's just going to know everything. I remember one thing. It was what Eddie Alvarez said when that fight was done. He said, I couldn't believe how fast he was. I'm not McGregor. So I couldn't see it coming. And I've only heard high-level guys say that one other time. I'll leave the opponent out, but it was somebody that took on Michael Venom Page. And he said, I couldn't see him coming. And one of the things that drove Robert Whittaker to want to rematch Izzy and to believe things can be different. Whittaker spoke about this. I'm going to use a word he didn't use, but Whittaker said that he was scared. He was scared going in. And when the fight started, Izzy was coming from angles at a speed that was faster than he thought, and that scared him even more. And made him think, I need to get out of here. Now, 2 of those 3 things I've added. Okay, you're not going to find those quotes, but that's what Whittaker was saying. That's what he was trying to reveal. He's being very open and very honest. And when the speed and angles and reach of Izzy started, it made Whittaker, who's tough as hell, he was the champion of the world going into this. He was the champion of the world that night. And in the moment that he said, I'm not ready for this, I've got to get out. If you guys think you saw that fight and you think you saw Whittaker get knocked out, I'm not going to go any further. You think you see people get knocked out all the time. This is what happened. But that's how dangerous speed is. Power thrills and speed kills. I just want to make that point for you because when you watch something on TV, you think that you know, and so do I, for sure. But then I hear from 2 guys who have more of a right to an opinion in terms of earning it than I do in this matter, certainly, right? And they said not only would McGregor win, they were accounting for the fact that he would not be at his best. They accounted for the fact within their analysis that he is going to be a reduced Conor McGregor coming off an injury and a layoff. And that he would still stop him in the 2nd round. I just thought that was surprising. I thought that was a really surprising thing to hear. So I'm looking at go, okay, what should we expect from Conor? And you're going to have a question of, does Conor want to do this? And you're not going to know the answer. You're just going to guess. You're not going to know it. And when you look at the signs of Conor staying in the gym and Conor staying busy and Conor going through routines and Conor even making a commitment to come out and doing the tough reality show that nobody, including Dana, thought that Conor would agree to do. He just didn't. He's got too many things he's just not going to lock down. They find, what guy? He's committed. Then he comes out and does the show. He's working out with the guys. He uses it like a training camp. People look around and go, man, Conor wants this. Conor's record is not what Conor's record would be if the fights have been done the way that they should be done. Now, the only thing that we do in this sport that I don't agree, the only thing, I love the sport. The only thing that we do that I don't get it, let alone agree with it, is we change our own event. We change the rules to our own sport. They just don't do that anywhere else. They just want to do that in baseball or basketball, or they want to do that anywhere, but we do here. We're going to bring you 11 fights every Saturday. 10 of them are going to be 3 rounds. One of them is going to be 5. Like, what? What? I just don't remember a football game, no matter what was on the line, that was 5 quarters. It just doesn't work that way. But I bring that to you because Conor, and this is science, guys. You've been told your whole life it's heart. You've heard the word heart. You've heard it's toughness. You heard mental toughness. You've heard it's work ethic and drive and discipline. You hear these things. No, it's science. It's science. You could take a group of athletes, and the smart guys will do this. Before the Olympic Training Center will invest in you, they will have you do this. But they're also the only entity that I know that does do that. China, for example, definitely does. Russia definitely does. The Cubans definitely does. But they'll just take their athletes and they'll simply do a VO2 max. You scientifically can only get into a level of shape. You've been taught, well, work harder and go more, and that isn't true. Eat better and sleep more. It's not true. You will top out. But you can put that top out in your toughness and your grit and how bad you want it. You can factor all of these things in, but it will be a variable of your VO2 max. Period. And there's some athletes that it's not as high as others. So when Conor McGregor goes into these contests that can be scheduled for up to 5 rounds, which forces him to hold back that power, it's a different contest. The guys in the 5-round fights aren't eating a left hand as hard or as frequently as the guys in the 3-round fights were, just by example. And if you were to go back and look at Conor's record and you were to make those losses that he had, but you were to make them 3 rounds, so you play this game all the way down. You played against Floyd Mayweather, Conor would have won if they would have been 3. I mean, but really, Conor beat the man up for 30 minutes. I'm talking about Floyd Mayweather. They scheduled for a 36-minute fight. I'm just sharing with you, what should we expect from Conor? You shouldn't expect him to be in great shape. You should expect him, while saying all of the right things, to get in the ring and have a little bit of a lack of confidence, because confidence comes from one thing, which is conditioning. He's never had it in the best of times. This, a layoff against a conditioned athlete who's been competing the other time. This is a disaster in terms of being able to push hard for 25 minutes. So he's either going to go out there, put it all into the first round, get Chandler out of there, or he's not going to win the fight. It's as simple as that. There is no scenario where in the 3rd round, Conor comes back to win. Or he loses the first 3, but in the championship rounds, he comes back to win. There's no scenario where it goes to a judge's decision and Conor wins. None. And that's just reality. And that's just tied into a guy's VO2 max. Then the question becomes, does Conor want to do this? And that's a really big deal. And that's for Conor to answer. And my guess, if Conor were to answer this real openly, is sometimes. Yeah, sometimes I do. I want it bad. And then when I have those times, I try to remember what I'm feeling so that I can have that at all times, but I don't have it at all times. I have it sometimes. So I'm still here. And I'm hoping the night that we fight is one of those times that I really want. That would be his answer if he was to answer you really openly. But like anything, you have to judge the evidence that you have. There is nothing about this fight between Conor and Chandler that feels like they're about to fight. I do believe in my heart Dana would make it. And I know in my heart Chandler thinks it's going to happen. I haven't seen anything from Conor's side in entering of a pool, which I could enter the, 15 minutes would take me to enter the pool. They're saying he's got paperwork. And I haven't seen it. The loss of weight, the commitment to a weight class. I haven't seen anything. And there's guys that will use a variety of reasons to get out of doing something. They'll never say, I don't want to do that. Never. They can't. They would ruin their identity. They can't do it. But they'll see other factors and variables, and they'll realize that's a way to stop what I don't want to be moving forward. I'm not telling you that's what Conor's doing. I'm suggesting for you that as you're looking at all the evidence in front of you, make sure you see it.